been progressing. I've started to feel like it's getting a little too similar to my prom night. I'm really drunk right now. Everyone's gonna be laughing at me. And in the end, I'm probably not gonna be having sex. And I say I'm not gonna be having sex, not because I've got a lot of children, which I do, but it's mainly because I don't like to physically exert myself. I'm not an exerciser. In fact, doing air quotes is pretty much as exercising as I get. I'm not an athletic person. I'm really uncoordinated. But you guys are going to be like really impressed because I was on a co-ed basketball team. Yeah. And I was 12, and it was at the Jewish Community Center. But I was on that team, and I know what you're thinking. And yes, I am tall for a Jewish girl. I'm also tall for a Jewish boy. But I was really bad, and just so I wouldn't show up to play, the coaches, they put me on the skins team. With a naked Amanda running around. I was like, I will play. I'm like, damn. And so, but yeah, I was really bad at sports, but my parents, they kept on signing me up for every single sports team. Why? Because they wanted me to learn to be a team player, but after years of like basketball and softball and soccer, I only learned that I was afraid of balls. Which is why in college I was a lesbian, but that's a story for another time. But I've been doing like research on some like low impact exercises, and I'm gonna share some of that research with you. Woo, yeah. And this was exciting. I read this study, and it says that if you drink half a bottle of red wine, that's the equivalent to an hour of exercise. And that's some low-impact exercise I can get behind, right? Woo! Yeah! But I've been doing more research, and I actually came up with my own exercise program. It's actually like this drink to exercise conversion chart. I'm going to share it with you today, yeah. And sir, if you're enjoying a Guinness beer, that's the equivalent to Irish step dancing. You're welcome. If you're enjoying a margarita, that's the equivalent of doing a Zumba class. And if you woke up this morning and, like me, chugged an entire bottle of Manischewitz, that's the equivalent to really nothing, except for maybe throwing up all over yourself, so just don't do that. But I'm a fourth generation Alabama Jew, and yes, some Alabama Jews in the audience, right? Yeah. I like to say that, like, I'm not your typical anything. I'm not your typical Jew because I'm from the South. I'm not your typical Southerner because I'm not racist. I'm just kidding, Southerners. I'm racist. So I grew up with, I have an older sister, and we look a lot alike. Everyone thinks we're twins, except her hair is straight and my hair is pubic. They call her the beautiful conservative one, and I'm like the quirky, sexy one. I'm not slutty. I wasn't even having sex in high school. I was having sex at Jewish summer camp. So are you? But I do dress inappropriately. I really do. I left the house the other day wearing what I thought was a dress, but it ends up it was a top. I've left the house wearing, I really thought they were leggings, ends up they were pantyhose. And just like yesterday, I was wearing this really, really adorable blouse. It had these like brown spots and this black fur trim, and it ends up I was just naked. It was a really uncomfortable PTA meeting for everyone, except for me. I was like, oh my God, I'm so adorable. You like my blouse? So my husband and I, we've been married for 13 years, and we've got 3 kids. Woo! Yeah! Thank you for cheering. But when you're a parent, you become like efficient at some of the most mundane things. Like I've become a quick eater, I'm a quick shopper, I'm a quickie. I'm always like, stick it in, and I'm not very creative, so it is actually the name that I gave to my husband's penis. But I am from Alabama, so sometimes I call it Cousin It. That is creative, but right? Yeah. So I'm a Jewish mom, and when you're a Jewish mother, that comes with like a whole set of paranoia around your children, and it's probably not what you think, because like the biggest thing that I'm paranoid about is my kids outing to their Christian friends that Santa is not real. So really, so every day I'm like, please don't be that Jew, especially around now. But I'm a solution-oriented person, so I've come up with this like really great solution, and instead of telling them that they don't get presents from Santa because he's not real, I just say, oh, honey, you're not getting presents from Santa because Santa hates the Jews. And no, is that like a judgy laugh? I don't know, because it works. It does. Now they're saying to their friends, we get 8 nights of presents and Santa hates the Jews, motherfuckers. Yeah. And they do know that word, motherfuckers, because I want them to have a large and expensive vocabulary. And Jewish education is important to us, and that's like SAT prep. So if there's one truth to being a mom, it's that we all lie. We all lie. The lies to like get them to eat their vegetables, the lies to get them to stay in bed at night, the lies that we love them all equally. Then there's the other lies I've been telling my kids. I call it like the long con lie about their pet fish. We've gone through like 25 beta fish in like a year, but they think it's just one. Just one beta fish, because I tell them instead of that it's dead, I've been like, oh, your fish got the fish flu, and we gotta go to the fish doctor to go pick him up because he's all better. So we drive up to the fish doctor, which is Petco, and we walk in and we go to the fish waiting room, which is the beta fish display, and I'm like, go get your guy, and they're like, there he is, and I'm like, sure. And we go to the cashier, and I'm like, time to pay that copay. $5 copay? Thanks, Obamacare. So this is the lie I've been telling my kids up until recently when our last fish died. His name was America Dookie Doodoo the Fourth. And his life was perhaps doomed the moment he was named after the fish that came before him, who was named after the fish that came before him, who was named after the fish that came before him. But this fish, we'll just call him Dookie Doodoo the Fourth for short. He was different. He was, guys. He was different than the other fish. He had some chutzpah, and he was really confident. He was a confident fish, maybe overconfident, as I imagine him saying to himself as he leaped